was born and raised in Tampa Bay, Florida, near the best beach in the United States, Clearwater Beach. I grew up in a Christian home and attended a private Baptist school, and I accepted Christ as my Savior when I was 6. I was baptized on my 13th birthday, actually. And when I was growing up, my parents always prayed for my future wife. I always thought about who that person would be. Especially in high school and college, I didn't really see too many girls that met those very high standards that I set for myself. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in music, focusing on piano at the University of South Florida. During college, I played keyboard in a band called Beggars and Poets. I was a part of that for about 3 years. We wrote many songs, filmed a few music videos. We were even considered for a contract going to London and playing for Universal Studios. I thought that's where God wanted me to be, but when that band broke up, I wanted to seek God more. I wanted to figure out what my future was going to be, and that's when I went to Boston in search of my passion, in search of my relationship with Christ. While I was in Boston, I went on prayer walks every day and prayed for my future wife. After getting back to Florida, I signed up on eHarmony, and a couple months later met Wendy. Wendy and I talked on FaceTime a lot, and about a month later I drove out to Texas to see her. We met for the first time at Cadillac Ranch, and I brought her a sunflower because I knew that was her favorite flower. The wind was like no other that I've ever experienced when I came here. It's very fitting that I met someone called Wendy Weatherly. Since that day, I've called her my sunflower, and she calls me her sunshine. When I was first here, I knew she was the one I'd been looking for, and I actually told her that right before I left to go back to Florida, and that kind of freaked her out a little bit. I told her I'd been looking for someone who was a Christian, loved Christ with all their heart, who didn't drink or curse, but was also musical and fun and just gorgeous, and someone I could see spending the rest of my life with. I always took dating very seriously. Honestly, was a little shy in high school and college, which is one reason I didn't date very much. On the other hand, every girl in college that I met didn't really meet my high standards or my criteria for what I needed for the future. When I met Wendy, it clicked really well, and I fell in love with her pretty quickly. We've had many deep conversations about our future together, but also so much fun together. For our first Christmas together, I flew to Texas and spent so much time with her entire family in Amarillo and in New Mexico, where I went skiing for the first time. Wendy's been snow skiing for basically her entire life, and that was my first time ever skiing. Let's just say I fell down a lot. Wendy flew to Florida a few times. We went to Disney World, we went to the beach together. There was one time where on a Tuesday, we were talking on FaceTime about the jamboree that was coming, and that weekend, she was there because she wanted to be on the Ferris wheel with me. After almost a year of spending so many hours talking to each other on FaceTime, we were getting to know each other so well. We even shared a special Valentine's dinner over FaceTime. We each made the same meal. We had so many FaceTime dates at the beach, even in the mountains when Wendy was skiing. We went on so many virtual trips together. I FaceTimed Wendy at the Parthenon in Nashville, and we can't wait to go to the real Parthenon in Greece for our honeymoon. We FaceTimed through some concerts. We even FaceTimed in San Antonio when I got to meet the famous composer Eric Whitacre. Wendy had always wanted to meet him. Even before I moved here, I decided to take the online course, Texas Teachers. And then I moved to Amarillo, got a job teaching elementary music with Amarillo ISD, and I also teach private piano lessons. I really enjoyed playing keyboard and piano at my church in Florida, and I actually got the opportunity to start playing in Amarillo at Redeemer Christian Church. I have no doubt God brought us together in His timing.
I was born and raised in the windiest city, Amarillo, Texas. I was so blessed to grow up in a family that just loves Jesus and is centered on Him. When I was 4 years old, my great-grammy was actually with me whenever I prayed the prayer and asked Jesus to come and be the Lord of my life forever. And then I was baptized at the age of 6. My family has always been praying that my future husband would firstly love the Lord with all his heart and be someone who would cherish me and be a provider for my future family. And I've always been praying for him my whole life too, asking that God would be preparing him. At an early age, I developed a love for singing. I sang in the church band, I always sang in choirs, and performed in many musicals. I studied architecture at Texas A&M University and was always very focused on my studies and my projects. After graduating with my master's degree, I moved back to Amarillo. I wanted to be closer to my family. After completing my exams, I officially became an architect. I felt ready for the next chapter in my life. I wanted to find the person that I would spend the rest of my life with. I had quite a list. I wanted to find someone who was a strong Christian and truly loves Jesus and has a relationship with Him. Someone who's pure and who would save themselves for marriage. I wanted to find someone who is fun and makes me have a lot of fun. I wanted to find someone who loves music as much as I do and who I could enjoy going to symphonies and musicals with. I wanted to find someone who doesn't curse or say the Lord's name in vain. I've always felt convicted not to drink alcohol, and it was also never around me because my parents and my grandparents don't drink, and I really admired that. I felt that God would not give me this conviction and then place me in a predicament. I felt that God would provide someone for me who was also convicted in this way. I wanted to find someone like my dad. Someone who's calm and patient. I wanted to find someone who understands me, someone who would encourage me to serve our God. I realized that I wanted to find the one person in the whole United States who deeply understood me. And I was encouraged to give eHarmony a try. And within about 2 weeks, I met Nathan. I love Nathan because he has all the fruits of the Spirit. He's loving, joyful, peaceful, patient, kind, good, faithful, gentle, and has self-control. He makes me so happy and makes me smile. After having a long-distance relationship, basically over FaceTime, and visiting each other a few times, Nathan moved to Amarillo in April of last year. We went to my family's cabin in New Mexico for Thanksgiving, and on Thanksgiving Day, while the turkey was cooking, Nathan suggested that we go get some fresh air and take a drive up to the Taos Mountain Lookout. While we were looking over the mountains, Nathan proposed. It was so special. When we called the church to set our wedding date, the only date open was June 23rd, which is also my dad's birthday and my parents' wedding anniversary. It's so sentimental that we get to get married on my parents' anniversary. I'm so amazed at how God brought us together from across so many miles and how He's prepared us for each other. We had to continue to seek His will, trust in Him, and wait for it to all happen in His perfect timing, when He would give us both the desires of our hearts.